It's been about a year since Disney's campaign manager has made an official announcement for their platform. But even though it's been a year, they have made updates and changes to Disney Campaign Manager. Now that a lot of the things are consolidated, we wanted to make an updated video on how you can create a campaign and what options you have if you want to start testing out this option for streaming TV ads. Since I've already created videos for Disney Campaign Manager, we're clearly already registered. But if you're looking to sign up for the first time, you may run into a few roadblocks. So when we signed up, we had to use an email that actually has a domain name attached to it. We couldn't try to register for Campaign Manager with a Gmail address or an Outlook address. It has to be associated with a company. So it's clear that Disney is trying to get brands in here. And yes, you can register as an agency to manage multiple brands if you want to. Okay, so now that's out of the way, let's just jump in and start creating a campaign. Enter in the campaign name, and then we can continue. And now we can enter in a line item. Think of this as like an ad group or an ad set. I'm not going to create multiple line items for this video, but some ideas of why you may want to have different line items could be for the content selection that you choose. You can see that at the bottom. That's going to be the next thing that we talk about. If you want to manually set up some sort of content flow, meaning within a specific date range for this one line item, you're showing one specific video. Then your next line item for the same campaign is the next step after this date ends, and you want to show a different type of TV ad to the user. So it could be ad scheduling, it could be when a budget resets, it could be your targeting, it could be the placement of it. There are several ways where you may want to consider having a different line item. For now, I'm just leaving it as the same. Next, we'll choose our end date. Let's just make it a month out, and then we can choose our budget. The minimum budget allowed is $500. I put in 1,000, and by default, assuming that we're targeting everything available, those are the amount of impressions that are an estimate, not an exact amount, that we may receive from this campaign. We do get a warning from Disney Campaign Manager saying as we change our targeting, which we haven't even touched yet, this forecast will change. Okay, now before we move on, notice this part that we're highlighting about the setup. A line item can run for up to 12 months, and you can submit it up to 3 months in advance. So if you're prepping for a holiday, you already know what you're going to run, you have all the assets ready to go, your budget is already approved, we can just hop in there and get it set. And then it'll run with whatever date ranges that you put. Okay, but now we can look at content selection because this is definitely something that has been updated since we recorded our last video, but Disney Campaign Manager never really announced it publicly. It's not on their blog. For now, it's broken out into these 4 categories, but we know Hulu is really merging with Disney Plus, so I expect this to change at some point. So the first option is entertainment powered by Disney Plus and Hulu. While it looks like it's all, this option does not include ESPN content. If you choose just Hulu or just Disney Plus, these 2 options also include ESPN content because people can watch ESPN content. So for Hulu, if they're watching ads via the Hulu app while it's still around, or they're watching Hulu shows on Disney Plus, that's where the placements will be. Disney Plus is just Disney Plus. And again, if they have ESPN through Disney Plus, with whatever package that the user has possible there. Or you can choose just the powered by ESPN content selection option, and then ads will show on all ESPN content, whether it's Hulu, Disney Plus, or just ESPN. For this demo, I'm going to stick with the first option. So again, no ESPN with part of this option. If we scroll down to targeting, we get a typical location targeting. Now you see the options for location are city, state, and DMA. If you're wondering why there's no country, well, right now it's USA only. So if you want to target the entire United States, just skip this part. You only need to update it if you want to hit certain areas within the United States. You can upload a list of zip codes. If you do so, the CSV needs to be just a single column of just your zip codes. You do not need to include a header within the column because it's the only thing that you can bulk upload. Choose your gender, choose your age groups, and here we get to audiences. And there are a lot of options. If you have a huge budget and you have a product or a service that speaks to pretty much anybody, you can skip this to show it to pretty much anyone who's watching the content on the selection that you chose in the previous step. But Disney does have a lot of cool audiences, and depending on the industry, some of them can get pretty specific. So first we can look at some third-party options, even just demographics. If you want to target a specific household income, they have some there. Specific education. Let's look at characteristics, potential purchase history, in market for cars, furniture, bedding, musical instruments. Under interest, we have other in-market audiences, more coffee drinkers, there's travel, homeowners, pet owners, car owners. Skipping down to retail, specific store visitors, another car option, more travel. Clicking on this, specific restaurants that they may like to visit. Right? Some of them still may seem higher level, but then these are some of the same categories with Disney's first-party information. And here we see some different options. Here we see more options for sports, a lot more options for gaming, more options for food and beverage, household needs, specific job seniorities, way more options for household income. Think of all the first-party data that Disney collects via the parks, Marvel Comics, Star Wars, National Geographic, Hulu, ABC, ESPN. They know a lot about you. So we can really hone in on specific first-party information because people willingly give it to Disney. Specific fandoms, if you ever need to hit it. Media categories, deeper sports categories, and there's a few more options there. So depending on your industry, you could find some options. I probably should pick one, right? There, pretend Michelle and I are advertising for ourselves, all right? Now we can look at device targeting. I constantly watch Disney Plus and Hulu stuff on my computer, especially since I'm a massive Star Wars fan. But there's a lot of people traveling, so you have a mobile option. And of course, it's TV, so people are actually watching on a TV, which they call living room. Now, I chose one, but I can't select multiple. Doesn't have to be one. If you do want to split them out in different line items, that could be another targeting option, but you don't have to. Now, genre targeting was something that was always available in Hulu, but maybe you have a product that's more geared towards kids, or that's food related, or it's more related to music or sports or video games. You can hone in on the genre, since in this content selection for this campaign, I did target everything. So you can try to split it down into more specific categories in addition to your current audience selection. And for brand safety, you can exclude content that's not rated, mature, or too adult, especially if you want to have a more family-friendly brand appearance. Now, as for delivery, you can look at setting a frequency cap. But Disney Campaign Manager does have some built-in frequency capping. So you can see here, a viewer doesn't see your ad more than 2 times per hour. So besides just hour, you can look at day or week. And then 15 was the minimum for a week, so that, averages out to about twice a day. So you can play around with it, and it could be something that you may want to test out leaving the default first, see what impact it has, and then as you continue to test out different types of campaigns, you may want to adjust this in the future. But if your budget is limited and you have a larger audience, maybe you do want to limit it if reach is part of your goal. Now, ad formats definitely got updated. It's more available to advertisers with a huge grain of salt, meaning it's more available for advertisers with larger budgets. These types of advanced ads where you can add QR codes, images, additional text, those were with Hulu a long time ago when Hulu had its own TV advertising platform. But for Disney Campaign Manager, you need to have spend of $50,000 in order to use this advanced feature. Yep, there it is. Unlock it. So with our measly little $1,000 budget, again, the minimum is $500, your only option would be standard. Next, you can either upload a video or choose it from your gallery if you've already run a campaign. And here we see the options, MP4 or .mov, maximum file size of 3 gigabytes, and it has to be 15 to 30 seconds. Let's see if I have one. All right, I had to use a client video because there are some strict rules in place in terms of the quality of video you can use. If the video is grainy in any way or the audio rate fluctuates too much, those sort of things, your video will get immediately rejected. If you feel that your video doesn't hit up to par with what you typically see on TV, then most likely it's going to get rejected. But for now, it's pending approval. You can upload, you see up to 3 if you want to do some ad testing, but I'm going to keep continuing just in case it gets rejected because the content in this video, it's quality, but it may not be best fit for TV. So then we can review our timeline. I can look at editing certain things. If I want to make adjustments, you can see I can duplicate a line item. If you just want to make simple tweaks in between a line item test or potentially just a date range, whatever. Since the ad is still pending for approval, I can't submit it yet. And it's probably not going to because while the video's quality, it's not really a commercial style video. So I honestly expect it to get rejected. But you would click on your line item and then this would turn blue and then you can't submit it. So then let's go back to campaigns. The basic campaign report doesn't really tell you much. If you're looking for better reporting, you would need to go up to the report section in your top navigation. And that's where you would go to get more information about the performance of the campaign. We talk about it more in our previous video. You could check that out here. But that is our up-to-date run-through on creating a campaign within Disney Campaign Manager. Since our last video, there's been some new options in terms of how you can place your content, as well as the targeting options. Again, the whole Hulu Disney Plus merger is still going on. There's definitely going to be some changes, so I fully expect this process to change at some point in the near future. And when it does, we'll make another video about it. But if you have any other questions on Disney Campaign Manager and what you can or cannot do within the ad platform, let us know in the comments.
Thanks for watching our video. We really appreciate it. If you liked it, give us a thumbs up below. If you really liked it, maybe think about subscribing to the Paid Media Pros YouTube channel and you'll get alerted every time a new video drops.
If you really liked it, you can help support the channel by checking out some of the t-shirts that we're wearing on our merch shelf, as well as looking at the Super Thanks button.